So I'm Justin Carter, and we are enabling ventures for a new era. We believe there's a better way for people to come together and organize their economic activities, and that's what I'm going to tell you about today. So, as a lot of you know, getting a startup running nowadays involves a lot of overhead, and the bootstrapping process can be an inefficient experience. You spend a lot of time doing paperwork, and of course, you have to discuss who gets equity and how much. And what often starts as a noble effort to fairly distribute the organization amongst the early employees and investors can quickly turn into a source of bad feelings. Equity splits disproportionately favor the early partners, which can lead to bad morale when later employees feel left out as profit starts coming in. In our community, we would call this centralization, something that ICOs also tend to have. So we believe there is a better way, and we are replacing traditional corporate entity structures with a more lightweight and transparent approach to profit sharing. But a new structure in itself is not enough. We also need to apply up-to-date knowledge of effective and efficient collaboration. When there is a high level of alignment between the team and individual, we can expect everyone to make decisions autonomously while taking responsibility for the outcomes. This leads to groups naturally being able to assemble and disassemble as is fit to get the task at hand done. So applying proven models for social interactions, which we are doing, and we have a lot of experience in this. Indeed, we have over 2 decades of experience in the social domain on our team. And combining this with decentralized technological platforms like Bitcoin and Blockstack enable us to the first time ever start ventures with a push of a button. And I'm going to demonstrate this in a second. Or that is, let's have a look at the UI, at least. So this is a UI of Misthos, and we are looking at the venture of the Norm company. And I'll just walk you through a few of the important concepts. Here you see that a venture is made up of partners and a multi-sig Bitcoin wallet that is used to aggregate the funds and aggregate the funds that should be distributed to the partners. The labels that you see underneath the names are used to group partners. And on the right side, this is kind of the governance mechanism. You see a number of policies which define the rules by which individual decision-making processes within the venture are governed. But now let's look at the central element of this dashboard view, which is this graph structure. And it's important to note that you can read this graph in 2 directions. On the one hand, from left to right, you can see how the profits are distributed to the partners that are represented here as the leaf nodes in this graph every time a payout is processed. On the other hand, and more importantly, you can read it from right to left. And when doing this, you can see how each partner is contributing to the value that the venture is creating. And this is a very important detail. So at Misthos, we believe that the rewards that a partner receives should be in direct relation to the contribution that a partner is making to the value creation of the whole. And in Misthos, we're making this blatantly obvious. So before you start thinking, this is not really equity. What we're doing is we're replacing both the idea of equity and the idea of salaries in a direct profit distribution mechanism. And in case you have an organization or a venture that doesn't have profits yet, then it can also act as an excellent source for documenting the contributions should you want to distribute profits later, which hopefully will be the case. But moving on, let's click on Danny, and we see a breakdown. He's currently doing half of the design work, and 30% of the value of the venture is being created by design. So let's say he's taken on responsibilities in another role. Maybe he's doing marketing. So how does the system accept this change? Any partner can propose that Danny should receive a new label. And once selecting this label, we also have to redistribute the marketing node. So let's say we'll put it onto 30% and submit the proposed change. Now at this point, a proposal has been submitted to the system of an atomic change to the graph structure. And we'll have a look a little bit at the governance process that will lead to this change becoming accepted. If we log in as Christina, we see that there is a request for an endorsement that she's received, a notification for that. So in Misthos, policies are defined by default that you only require endorsement from the people directly affected by a change. And this is one way in which we can scale the governance mechanism. So in this case, up to now, only Christina has the marketing node, and only she is affected, the label. So when she clicks on endorse, the graph structure is atomically updated. And from now on, Danny will receive the payouts according to this new structure. So that was a sneak peek at the UI that we're currently building. What do we have? Well, we've built a working backend, and which was very nice experience based on the Blockstack primitives. And thank you very much to the Blockstack engineers who have audited the code to make sure it's going to work and scale as we expect. And we are able to use this backend today for the use case I just demonstrated, as well as other ones that we have been using internally already. But this is just a small glimpse of what we want Misthos to become. We really want to provide a platform to manage the entire financial use cases that ventures have, and provide that platform for users in a decentralized manner. This includes ways to represent investors or early work that was done before income into the graph structure, so that when profits do come in, they receive their fair share of compensation. And of course, we're using cryptographic primitives to minimize trust and maximize enforceability, reducing reliability on third parties and all that good stuff that this conference has obviously been about. So as a result, we have a significantly reduction of overhead, and everyone has a shared global view of how value is being created in a venture. This significantly increases motivation as partners become aware of how they have a direct impact on the profitability of a venture. And above all, we want people to experience the joy that it is to directly share the rewards of your work amongst the peers that you have created it with. So this is the team that's building Misthos. I've done all the coding up to now. Kyle Parkinson, our design lead, has created the slides for this deck. And we're both here. If you have any questions or want to know more about Misthos, please reach out, find us. Gebhard Borg, unfortunately, couldn't make it today. He's a consultant and author who has spent his life finding better and more social ways for people to work together within organizations. So this model of profit distribution is one that he's developed and implemented successfully dozens of times with various organizations. So it's proven to work. This software is just an element that allows that model to scale and reach a wider audience. Please, if you're interested in what we're doing, we are hiring. We're looking for top engineers, designers, people to help us go to market and business development. And to the investors in the room, if you like what you hear, we are interested in accepting investment from investors who would like to experiment with us in finding ways to integrate investments into this new model. And so, yeah, reach out to us. That's it for me. Thank you very much to the organizers of the conference, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the talks.